Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Extinction Rebellion live stream. We are coming to you live from the City of London because it is Insurance Week of Action here with Extinction Rebellion, which is part of, in solidarity with the Insure Our Future campaign Global Week of Action. All over the world this week, organizations, movements, groups are taking action against the insurance companies, the insurance industry, to tell them, you have to change your ways. You have a unique opportunity to be climate heroes. You can stop insuring the fossil fuel industry, which means that fossil fuel projects cannot go ahead and help us save the planet. So it's an exciting week. There's a lot of anger, obviously, about what the insurance industry is doing. They know full well that they shouldn't be insuring fossil fuel companies. But there's also a sense of extending a hand, a sense of let's work together, a sense of you can have a positive impact. You can change the course of history right now. So there is a sense of optimism as well. And we know that this kind of activism does work. Lots of insurance companies have pulled out of what we call climate bombs. So really carbon intensive projects such as ECOP, the East African crude oil pipeline, and the West Cumbria coal mine as well. So that's what we're here to today. So we are marching now on to pay some friendly visits to some insurance companies. But what you saw earlier were actions of groups occupying the lobbies of several insurance companies, for which I am now going to... I've just heard they haven't been played yet. So you are going to see shortly, here's one we made earlier. We have occupied Travellers at Christchurch Place. We have occupied Tokyo Marine in the walkie-talkie. We have occupied Talbot in Threadneedle. We've occupied Probitas in Leadenhall Street, and we've occupied Zurich as well. So major insurance companies that insure fossil fuel projects that they need to be stopping. They need to stop insuring new fossil fuel projects right now. I'm getting confused with fuel and full, and that's no wonder because we are on the fossil full tour right now through the City of London. So let's have a look at some of the actions that happened earlier, the occupations in some major insurance companies' lobbies. Let's have a look at what they got up to.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Boss.
Yeah.
That's good, man. David.
Oi, lady. Yeah.
No, give me please. You have to go outside, please. Excuse me, please. You have to go outside, please.
Sorry, this is a peaceful protest.
You have to go
Talbot
outside, please.
Talbot is insuring in oil and gas, some really bad projects. We will leave later. We're just going to hand a letter over.
You have to go outside, please.
Yeah.
You have to leave, please.
Yeah. Just going to be here.
No, please, you have to leave.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Lower ground and the 8th floor at Tolbert.
We should do that. We'll tell the policeman that's what we're doing. They should be
Sorry, Jim, but yeah. That's Jim, sorry. Go on, sir. Thank you, sir.
Insurance companies stop underwriting new fossil fuel projects, or in fact any fossil fuel project. It's just a highway to hell for everyone. If you work in the insurance industry, you have a unique opportunity to make a difference. We're asking insurance companies not to underwrite the East African pipeline that is going to affect millions and millions of people in East Africa. We're asking you companies not to underwrite the West African coalfield or any new fossil fuel projects. We're already heading for incredible trouble with climate change. Please use the position you have. You work in a company. Get together with other people in your company and see if you can put some pressure on your company. Free. It's not even financial sense. Only in the very shortest term. We know that as climate collapse accelerates, it's going to drive coach and horses through the whole insurance business. It does not make sense. It does not make sense to insure fossil fuel projects, particularly not new fossil fuel projects that will take us so far above sustainable limits. Please don't be afraid to take our leaflet. We're not dangerous. We just want a sustainable future. Do not believe what the media says. We are not dangerous. We really just want a sustainable future for you, me, our children, our grandchildren, the wildlife of this country. You can make a real difference. If you work in insurance, you're in a fantastic position to make a difference.
because travellers insurance haven't ruled out insuring stuff in the pipeline. And we're asking them to consider the unique power that they have in the climate crisis. The East Africa pipeline will displace millions of people, will affect the water supply of millions of people, will go through approximately 2,000 kilometres of protected habitats, destroying biodiversity, destroying the habitats of millions of creatures. There's a huge amount of risk attached to oil line projects, and there's often leaks that will be catastrophic for the environment. And to keep us within safe, habitable limits for the entirety of the planet, we need these big projects to not go ahead. There's a wealth of alternatives in the renewable sphere that insurance companies could focus on, and that would ensure both a future that is safe and habitable for us, for our children, all of the people across the earth, and it would also ensure the future of the insurance industry itself, because they are losing money where they're having to pay out for the impacts of the climate crisis in order to get short-term profits from these big projects.
The mothers have spoken. We have lost. We've broken. All rise up. All rise up. Ole, 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 oh mama. Ole, 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 oh mama.
Can you use the login to access? Can I help you?
No, mate, I'm fine, thanks.
They actually engaged with us. Yeah. So we just paid a little visit to Zurich, the insurers. And so actually we send out, I should start by telling you that we send out a friendly letter to the insurance industry last week to say, you know, you need to stop insuring fossil fuels. We're giving you a little bit of a deadline. We'd like you to respond and tell us about how you're going to stop insuring fossil fuels. And Zurich actually responded to us, which is really great because that's what we need, right? We need dialogue. We need people to engage with us. Some representatives from Extinction Rebellion had a chat with them. And they told us lots of lovely things about how they're transitioning away and they don't want to insure anymore, but, you know, they're still doing it now and, you know, still insuring new fossil fuel projects. So we had to say to them, unfortunately, that just isn't good enough for us at this stage. You have to stop insuring fossil fuel projects now, not in an undefined distant future. So we said, unfortunately, we will still see you as our target. And as we saw earlier, they are still our target. We've been occupying their lobby. So, yeah, there we are. Unfortunately, they haven't done quite enough yet to legitimize us saying, Zurich, you're on the right track. Problem is, there's lots of loopholes. So what we see lots of insurance companies do is that they'll say, we will insure you if you are a company that is saying that you are going to transition away from fossil fuels at some stage. But that means that they are still insuring new fossil fuel projects. So the climate and the environment doesn't give a damn if a company says in their policies that they are going to stop insuring fossil fuels or stop doing fossil fuel projects in some distant future. It needs to be now, and it needs to be firm and hard, like a hard no new fossil fuel projects. So, sorry, Zurich, but you were left wanting, and we had to target you anyway. So, yeah, there we are. But there's lots more companies that are doing the same thing. A lot of this is about the language used. We just need to be really vigilant at how these insurance companies talk about their policies and the work that they are willing or not willing to insure anymore. There are loopholes, there's small writing, there's greenwash, and they may make it sound like they are doing the right thing, but when you actually look close up and look into the detail, actually what they're saying is just sadly a lot of hot air. So anyway, so why insurance? So I was thinking about this earlier because insurance can be great. We all need insurance. We insure our homes. Some of us might even have insurance for our cats. I mean, it's a good thing. So why are we targeting these guys? Well, everybody needs insurance. If you are a fossil fuel company and you want to build a massive pipeline running from Uganda through to Tanzania, you'll need insurance for that. You'll need insurance for the actual pipeline. You'll need insurance for the works being done. You'll need insurance for the materials. If you as a company don't have insurance for that, the project can't go ahead. Equally, say you were an organization that wanted to run a coal mine in West Cumbria, for example. If no one is willing to insure that project, the project can't go ahead. So it's an interesting dilemma here that actually the insurance companies might not be doing the actual digging or the actual drilling or indeed the actual laying of a pipeline, but they have a huge role to play in that project, because if they say no, we won't insure you, that project cannot go ahead. No insurance, no drilling. No insurance, no digging. No insurance, no pipeline. So this is why we are here today, and this whole week, in fact, to put pressure on these insurance companies to say to them, stop insuring these projects. You have the power. You have the opportunity now to change the course of history. So we've had 5 lobbies of various insurance companies occupied by some cheeky rebels. They are friendly visits. They are meant to be about conversations that we could be having. We know that people working in insurance aren't evil people. They have friends and family that they care about. They don't want to see the planet destroyed. So how can they help prevent that from happening? So that's what we're at. We're extending a hand to say, come on, let's talk about this. Let's find a way forward. And in fact, we are inviting everyone from the fossil fuel industry to come to a community assembly on the 5th of March to come and talk about how the insurance industry might help insure our future. So this is all really exciting, and we're really hoping that the insurance industry will take us up on this, because we can work together. We can fix this problem. They can be insuring green energy projects. They can be insuring all these things that we can be really, really proud of, and things that we need and that will help insure our future. Basically, that is the essence. So as I said before, we are doing this week of action in solidarity with Insure Our Future, a huge global campaign, and there is actions happening all over the world, targeting insurance companies all over the world to stop insuring fossil fuel projects. Now, I believe we have lots of interviews of people who were in the lobbies earlier. They're in fact still in the lobbies, which is why we're doing this tour around. We're just going to go past where they are occupying to say hey. But let's listen to some interviews now of some of the people to find out what they are up to, why they've decided to take part in these actions, and find out a little bit more about the companies where they are occupying the lobbies. So let's find out and see what they have to say for themselves a little.
Good morning, madam. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us why we're all here?
Hello, I am Dr. Lucy Hogarth, and we're here today. I'm here personally as a scientist at the insurance company Talbot. We're in their lobby, and we're here to highlight the fact that scientists have been saying, I think, and said at least since COP26 back in 2021, that there can be no further expansion of fossil fuel extraction if we're going to stay below the 1.5 degrees of warming that is a critical threshold for our planet. However, since then we've had projects like the West Cumbria coal mine, like the Adani coal mine in Australia, and Equinor's North Sea oil and gas field. All of these are in direct violation of what scientists have been warning for years. And by financing those projects, the only thing that insurers like Talbot are ensuring is that we have a future where our climate renders the homes and health of millions uninsurable.
What is it especially about insurance companies? What is it that they can do that maybe other companies can't, or other targets in London we could have chosen? Closer.
Well, insurance companies are all about risk. Their job is to calculate whether or not something is an unlikely enough risk that it's worth them underwriting it. But by companies like Talbot putting money into fossil fuel extraction, what they're doing is making unlikely risks like losing your home due to climate change or having a health problem due to an extreme weather event far more likely. And we can look to things that have happened recently. I think in the words of a CEO of a home insurer of houses that are in the path of the recent Californian wildfires, they cannot charge an adequate price for the risk. And this is going to be something that we're seeing a lot more of in the future, is insurers saying they simply cannot charge enough for the risk that climate change faces.
So they're in quite a good position because their insurance are used to dealing with risk. They've probably got the scientists who can deal with that risk and know how serious climate change is. So have you got a message for the people who work for Talbot, as what they could do?
I think that insurers have an enormous amount of power here. If fossil fuel extraction projects cannot get insurance, they will not go ahead. They won't take that risk upon themselves of something going wrong and losing all the money they've put into it. So we're here, I'm here as a scientist, and all of us are here just pleading with them to take their responsibility seriously, listen to the scientists. There can be no new fossil fuel extraction, and they have the power to stop that happening.
So we're all here, sat on the floor. We're in a very swanky building. It's quite nice, isn't it? It must be millions of pounds. What is it like sitting on the building? What's the experience of coming inside and doing an occupation? Did you sleep last night?
Yeah, I didn't sleep a lot, and I have autism, so kind of coming into a place like this, not really knowing what the situation's going to be, having people confront you, it's pretty much as terrifying as it gets for me. I'm not really sure how long we're going to be allowed to stay here. There's a lot of police around. But all we want to do is highlight the role that insurance companies have and the power that they have.
Well, thank you very much for what you're doing, and thank you for your sacrifice. Well done. Thank you.
Welcome to the Extinction Rebellion live stream, live here from the City of London, where we are in the middle of our Insurance Week of Action, where we are targeting the insurance industry to say, guys, you have this opportunity to change the course of history. You can stop insuring fossil fuel projects and you can help us save the planet. It's an exciting time to be in insurance now because you can be an actual climate hero if you want to be. Sadly, that is not what we're seeing happening as of yet. Although there is lots of talk about divesting away and transitioning away, but we need it to be much, much, much faster. No insurance for new fossil fuel projects. The rightness to the summer ban here is so much fun. But the interesting thing about the insurance industry is that this is not just a sort of moral obligation of them to do to save the planet, to save all life on Earth. It is also literally to save their own industry and their own jobs. So in 2022, the amount of damage caused by weather and climate-related events was billions and billions and billions of pounds, which only 45% of those incidents claimed insurance for. So the more people are going to start claiming insurance, the higher and higher the cost is that the insurance company is going to have to pay up. We're going to start seeing things where insurance companies just simply no longer will be able to insure people for, especially flood risks, drought, all those kinds of things. It's going to be impossible for insurance companies to keep insuring that because they won't be able to afford to pay people out for things, damages, losses that are by climate-related events. So it just doesn't make sense for the insurance company, for the insurance industry to continue to insure fossil fuel related projects because they are putting themselves out of business. What would make sense, financial sense for the industry, and it would make sense for, well, all life on Earth, basically, is if they were to start insuring sustainable, environmentally friendly, climate-friendly projects. So what is stopping them? This is the big question. So as I said before, we had a conversation with the sustainability officer at Zurich Insurance. And we think that one of the problems is that some of them really genuinely think that they are already doing the right thing, that by putting it in writing at their policies, that they are already transitioning away and that they are all for the planet and the climate, that by just putting some words down on paper on the website, that is enough. But when you look into the detail, you can see that they are very much still insuring fossil fuel projects. There's lots of loopholes in the language, and that's really where you have to kind of get down into the nitty-gritty, the detail of it, where they can say, for example, we will not insure fossil fuel projects, but if it's a project that is done by a company which has said in their policies that they are committed to transitioning away from fossil fuels, then it's okay to insure the new fossil fuel project. And it just doesn't make any sense because the emissions and the destructions from the project are real. Whether the company has put in their policies that they are going to transition away at some stage or not, the emissions are going up into our atmosphere and they are piling up and adding to climate destruction and environmental destruction. So these loopholes just totally aren't good enough. And then, of course, not to mention the greenwash that this kind of language gives us. It makes us feel like, oh, they're doing the right thing, everything will be okay. And it gives people this completely false sense of security where this is just untrue. They are still insuring fossil fuels. And yeah, it has to stop. So this is why, we are trying to politely engage with these organizations to say, look, guys, this is your opportunity now to do the right thing and stop insuring fossil fuels. But yeah, obviously they're kind of seeing it as an attack, which fair enough, we are criticizing the way that they do their work, so fair enough. But these are meant to be friendly visits. We are the friendly visits crew to say, let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. How can we move this forward? And there is going to be a community assembly happening on the 5th of March, where we are inviting people from the insurance industry to come and talk and to share their thoughts and ideas about how we might ensure the future. Of course, when we talk about the future, we kind of also mean the present, because for millions and millions of people, climate change and environmental breakdown is reality right now. We're not talking about the future. We're not talking about next year or 10 years. We are talking about right now, where we're seeing famine, we're seeing floods, we're seeing wildfires all over the world. Everybody is being affected by this, including in the UK. So we've just arrived at the walkie-talkie, and you can see some happy rebels standing in the lobby, occupying. And the insurance company that we are targeting, that is here today, that is based here inside the walkie-talkie, is Tokyo Marine Insurance. So yeah, I don't know if we can get any closer to them. I think it's been cordoned off a little bit by the police. But yeah, so these guys have been here since early this morning. They are trying to reach out to the people working in this building to say, hey guys, your insurance company is heavily involved with insuring fossil fuel projects. It needs to stop. What can we do about it? How can we change this? So they'll be trying to reach out to them, talking to them, making sure that we have some kind of dialogue going, because that is where it all starts. So community assemblies are a way to get people to share their ideas, to listen to others, to learn from each other, and to come to some kind of solution together, a way forward together. This isn't about us versus them. At the end of the day, we need to work together, whether we like it or not, to make sure that we have a planet that we can live on. So yeah, there they all are, with signs saying, insure our future, not fossil fuels. Don't insure the West Cumbria coal mine. And yeah, so we've got lots of people chanting now. I think there might be some speeches coming up soon. But while we are over here, let's have a look at some interviews of people inside some of these lobbies and see what they had to say about it while they were in there. What's going on inside? Let's find out.
Hello sir, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where we are today and why we're here?
Hello, I'm Dave from Bath. We're at the Talbot building on Threadneedle Street, and we're here today to send a message to the insurance companies.
Okay, and why do we want to send a message to insurance companies? Why have they got a climate-related aspect? Could you take the mic?
Well, yeah. So insurance companies have got a bit of a dysfunctional organisation going on at the moment, because as well as insuring fossil fuel projects, which brings in an income of 21.25 billion, I think it was, a couple of years ago. They're also obviously insuring property and casualty insurance, and the payouts for property and casualties, on average for the past 5 years, has been something in the region of £110 billion a year. So you can see 21 billion income, 110 billion expenditure. It doesn't make any sense. And it seems to me that the insurance company, like I said, is almost schizophrenic in the fact that it's enabling projects which directly contribute to climate change and the corresponding extreme weather events, as well as insuring against those extreme weather events. And this has come to a head, particularly with Talbot as well. Talbot are what's the word?
Talbot, reinsured, but part of AIG.
Talbot are part of AIG, and only last year AIG pulled out of California because of the extreme weather events in California. They pulled out of the property and casualty market in California last year, as did Tokyo Marine, a different company. They also pulled out of Louisiana in 2017 for the same reasons. So you can see it's obvious that the insurance company are losing their market due to the extreme weather events caused by climate change.
Which very neatly brings us round to our 3 demands, especially for today. And can you remember what those are? I tried to teach you them before. Can you remember what they are?
I can remember.
Well done.
Yeah, so the first demand is to stop insuring new and expanding fossil fuel climate bomb projects. So no new insurance. The second demand is to, if they are going to insure, continue to insure fossil fuel projects, they should take into account social justice. For example, the ECOP, the East Africa crude oil pipeline, which runs from Uganda to Tanzania over hundreds of kilometres, is causing all sorts of environmental damage. It takes no consideration or little consideration of the local people whose lives are going to be disrupted by the fact that they're building the pipeline, and obviously all the pollution that's going to be caused with that. And the third demand is to enable a just transition by cutting investment in fossil fuel projects, because these insurance companies, they don't just insure fossil fuel projects, they also invest in fossil fuel projects. Take the money away from that dying industry and shift it over to more green projects. It's really quite simple, and the green projects will be more profitable. There's going to be lots of money to make from green projects over the next 10 years. Let's start doing it now.
So, well done. I don't know if you've done anything like this. Would you like to give us a rough outline of what it's like? You get ready to come in, sneak in through the door. Well, now we're here, the police are here and everything. Give us a summary in case someone else is thinking about doing it and they might want to try it if you take the microphone.
Yeah, it's pretty nerve-jangling, but once we're in here, it's fine. There was no aggro. We are peaceful protesters. We talked pleasantly and nicely with the security guards here. There was no animosity. Also with the police, we've been being friendly as you like with the police. And it's a bit nervy starting off with, because the fear of the unknown. But once you're in, it's fine.
Okay. So, well done, and thank you for your sacrifice. Well done.
So that was an interview from earlier this morning in the Threadneedle lobby of Talbot Insurance. So it's great to hear that there's been no aggression. Obviously, everybody knows that Extinction Rebellion are strictly non-violent protesters, and it's good to see that that's been respected over there at Talbot Insurance. It was great to hear as well people talking about the 3 demands that have been set out by the Insure Our Future campaign. As I said earlier, we are doing this week of action on insurance companies in solidarity with Insure Our Future, which is a global campaign happening all over the world. So the 3 demands are: don't insure fossil fuel projects and companies, obviously. Respect human rights. And I think we would very much add to that, also respect the rights of all living beings, and a fair and just transition away from fossil fuels, so that we make sure that the people currently relying on an income, we're not talking about the big CEOs here, okay? We don't really care about them. They've got enough money. But people, ordinary workers who rely on the fossil fuel industry to put dinner on the plate, on the table every evening, they deserve a just transition. What are they going to do with their lives? How can we retrain them, support them, skill them up so that they can continue to live good lives with an income, and indeed with a job that they can be proud of, because it's something that isn't destroying the planet this time. So that was really great to hear from Talbot inside there. I believe there's now a bit of a speech happening outside Marine Tokyo in the walkie-talkie. So we're having a little break there now.
Respect human rights, demanding that you do your due diligence and check out what's going on in the projects that you're insuring around the world, where they are trampling local communities and the indigenous peoples. And we're also asking and demanding that you please start to ensure and ramp up support for renewable energy projects. This is so important. Tokyo Marine, if you don't know, I'm just going to explain a few little things here. They're only number 15 in the world in the rankings for fossil fuel insurance funding. So they're not doing that great. They're not that bad, but they have not yet ruled out insuring the East Africa crude oil pipeline, or known as ECOP. So let's get a big boo for that. Boo! Tokyo Marine, you could turn yourselves into heroes. You could stop East Africa crude oil pipeline in its tracks if you were to pull support for insuring that project. If you were to stop insuring that project, it would slow it down, increase the costs for that project, and make it harder for it to go ahead. So Tokyo Marine, you people up in there, we know you're in there. We're not saying you're bad people. You have the power to be heroes at this moment, and we are demanding that you do that. So please, let's give us a shout. We are Extinction Rebellion. Extinction! 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 And we are asking you, please, 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 step up at this moment in history. Search your consciences. You do not want to be found on the wrong side of history. You want to say, we were part of the green transition. We were part of the movement that pulled the pin on fossil fuel expansion and started to slow down the rate of global heating to start helping preserve life on Earth. Tokyo Marine, this is your job. You could do it. You know about the risks. It's your job to see what's going on in the world and make good judgments. And now is the time to make good judgments. So I just want to invite up to the microphone right now someone from the Coal Action Network, Will, who has been helping a great deal to bring this huge coalition around the world. Remember, this global week of action is happening all around the world right now, putting pressure. It's not just us, it's not just Extinction Rebellion, 130 organizations around the world seeing the problem here and trying to raise awareness, bring scrutiny and shine a light on the power of these insurance companies. So I'm going to ask Will to come to the microphone and just explain a little bit more about what's going on. Give him a big welcome, Will!
Thanks, everyone. If you can hear me, just give me a whoop. Okay, great. That's my friend right here, give me a big whoop. My name is Will Attenborough. As Etienne said, I work for Coal Action Network. And I'm going to try and give a bit of basis, a bit of steel in your spine so that you know what you're doing here. So I was reading The Sun and the Daily Express at the weekend. It's just something I love to do. Yeah, and I don't know if people saw it, but they referred to us as extremists, eco-zealots who are causing chaos. And I thought on the back of that I would read you some statements by some other crazy, wild zealots. Investing in fossil fuels is moral and economic madness. That's crazy wackadoo Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations. He went on to say, I encourage the insurance industry. Your investments should not be contributing to climate pollution, but directed towards solutions. Invest in renewables, low and zero carbon transport and infrastructure. Wild, crazy man. I want to read you two more. No one should profit from the rising seas, temperatures, and human suffering caused by the burning of fossil fuels. That was another madman, Nobel Peace Prize winner Desmond Tutu. And the last one, transition to clean energy is happening worldwide and it is unstoppable. It's not a question of if, it's just a matter of how soon. And the sooner the better for all of us. That was one final zealot. That's the director of the International Energy Agency, which was set up to advise the oil industry. He is saying precisely what we're saying. So remind yourselves, whenever you have a conversation with the people in your own lives, what you're advocating for here, which is for insurance companies to stop insuring new oil, coal, and gas, is completely mainstream. It is absolutely sane. There's nothing more human, more essential to us than wanting a safe, healthy place to live, to raise our kids, to love the people that we love. What's bonkers, what is crazy and chaotic and dangerous is continuing business as usual while wildfires and hurricanes batter us. Every single energy expert, every leading climate scientist worth their salt agrees that if we're going to do that, if we're going to protect this precious place where we live, there can be no new fossil fuels. Polluters have to stop digging oil, gas, and coal. And for them to be able to do that, they have to have insurance. Insurers are risk managers. Insurance is protection. It's here to make sure that if something goes wrong, they're going to come in and step in and make sure that we're okay and that we're whole. We're here to tell them, do that for us. Do that for ordinary people. Do that for communities. Stop doing it for polluters who are making this world less safe and more chaotic. I also just want to ask people, maybe just shout or put your hand up. How many of you have been really stressed out when you're trying to buy something from the supermarket and you're like, this is like, there's plastic on it, but it's vegetarian, but what's the best choice I can make? Just give me a whoop if that's been you at any point in your life. Great, me too. Another thing I want to remind you of, it's not our responsibility as a single individual to solve this problem. It requires changing the big things that matter. And insurers have that power. The CEOs in these buildings, they have the power to talk to government, to change the direction of the markets. They can shift systems. So don't be fatalistic. Remind yourself that the solutions are out there. Also remind yourself, poll after poll, 80% of our nation's population and populations around the world are highly concerned about climate change, and they want our leaders to do the right thing. So don't get sucked into the culture wars that the Sun and all of them want to bring us into. Remind yourself that this planet is our lungs. We depend on it for every breath that we take. Talk to the people in your lives, meet them where they're at. Remind them that if they're not pure, they're not bad people. And bring them on this journey with you. And just to finish off, I just want to say that when I took this job, I thought, man, insurance, that's one of the most boring words that you could start a conversation with. You've all shown up today and made this issue more exciting, more energizing, more accessible. So thank you so much for coming with us on this journey. And let's take the message to the people around us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Will. So we just want to one last time, just want to speak to those good people up in Tokyo Marine. They've already, amazingly, done something quite cool. They've already ruled out insuring the Adani Carmichael mine in Australia, which is an absolute monstrous. This is how much appreciation you could get. Let's give them a bit more appreciation for ruling out Adani Carmichael. Come on, make some noise. Imagine that level of appreciation, Tokyo Marine. If you were to rule out insuring ECOP around the world, you'll be regarded as legends. People would come up and buy you a drink in the pub. They say, we heard what you did, guys. You are so cool. Thank you for doing that. You're protecting the future of my children, protecting our families, protecting all the people around the world. You guys are awesome. Imagine that. So this is within your power. One more time, Extinction Rebellion. Let's just say, please, please, please. Please, please, please. Insure our futures, not polluters. Insure our futures, not polluters. Insure our futures. futures, not polluters. Insure our futures, not polluters. All right then. Extinction Rebellion, are we ready for the next stop?
Update.
Oh, we've got an update. Hold on.
The occupiers are going to leave the building in a couple of minutes. Should we stay and celebrate them?
Yes, hold on. I've just had an update, everybody. So apparently the occupiers, the peaceful, beautiful rebels who are inside this building behind, in front of us or wherever you are, in front of us here, they're about to come out. They've said they're going to leave peacefully. And shall we wait for them? Let's get a whoop if you want to wait for them to come out. That seems like a vote in favour of that. So we're just going to hang around and wait for those beautiful rebels to come out. Remember, Extinction Rebellion is absolutely committed to non-violence. We are peaceful protesters. We come around, do things to protect life on Earth. We are not here to cause trouble just for the fun of it. We are here to shine a light on the profound and grievous injustices that are being visited upon our children, upon our future. Here they are now. Come on, good rebels, let's give them a cheer. Thank you, amazing people. I dare say you must have got up very early this morning. Well done. Look at those beautiful rebels. Just ordinary people taking a stand for life, putting themselves into harm's way, potentially risking their liberty to say to these amazing insurance people in here who have the power to stop fossil fuel expansion. They were there to try and ask them, please stop insuring new fossil fuel projects, respect human rights and support the green transition. One more time for the occupiers. They look kind of happy for themselves. I'm glad for them. Well done, everybody. A few faces I spot in there. You should be proud of yourselves. They've probably been around for a little while. Hopefully they've been warm. Maybe been looked after. Remember, Extinction Rebellion, we always look after our rebels. We have well-being people. We have de-escalators who look after if there's any arguments and tense situations. We have stewards to keep us all safe. I do want to make sure that if anyone is here who has specific accessibility needs or is feeling a bit weird or peculiar, you can find a steward or find someone with a blue sash that says well-being, and you can ask them and they will help you out. We want to make sure that our actions are accessible and inclusive, that they are safe and feel good, and that's what Extinction Rebellion is all about. We are ordinary people. We want to make it possible for ordinary people to exercise their voices and to speak out and use their power as ordinary people to ask for justice, climate and ecological justice for everyone around the world. So just getting a few photos of those amazing people, and then I think we're going to move on. But I just want to remind everyone why we're here. Remember, the insurance industry is the Achilles heel of the fossil fuel industry. Every single fossil fuel project that needs to be expanded needs insurance at every step of the way. And insurance companies have that power. They have it within their grasp to just be able to pull the plug on projects. And many insurance companies are now beginning to introduce restrictions on insuring projects, fossil fuel projects like coal, oil and gas, tar sands and exploring in the Arctic. But many of them are not. And many of those policies that they already have are weakly applied, let's put it like that, in a politically gentle way. So these insurance companies do have the power. They could be heroes, but right now they are enabling the destruction of our planet, ensuring climate chaos. And in fact, it's completely insane. They are actually destroying their own businesses, right? Because if they continue supporting fossil fuel projects, continue investing the premiums that they receive into fossil fuel projects, they are in fact destabilizing the world that they are trying to insure. They will register, make sure that the world becomes uninsurable and destroy their business models. And these are really clever people up in there, right? They're super clever people. They should realize this, and we are hoping that they will realize it. We're asking them and demanding them, please, please, please be sensible. Stop insuring fossil fuel projects. And that is why Extinction Rebellion and many, many other groups around the world are here today. So, let's get one more. Extinction! Extinction! Insure our futures, not polluters! Insure our futures, not polluters! All right, are we ready to keep going? Are we ready to keep going? yourself away from some. Oh, well, I don't know about that, sir. We'll have to wait and see. We look like we're going this way. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Keep going. Tokyo Marine. You can do the right thing. Be legends. Be heroes. Do not insure East Africa crude oil pipeline or the West Cumbria coal mine. You can do this. Thank you very much.
And now we're going to interview two people who are stood in the window. Madam, we've interviewed you already. Would you just like to quickly introduce yourself again?
Yes, I'm Dr. Lucy Hogarth.
That's very important, a doctor. And sir, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm not a doctor, Joe Hogan.
Yes. Okay. You've been standing by the window. People have been walking past. They've been looking at the banner and the general goings on. The police are outside. What sort of reaction have you had from people going past?
A mix, definitely a mix. We've had some supportive nods and smiles and thumbs up. We had one sneer and mutter. I think mostly neither really positive or negative, just kind of blank. But of the reactions that were readable, more positive than negative, I think.
Okay, that's good. And you've got one particular banner you're holding up. Do you want to turn that round so we can see what that says? So, don't insure West Cumbria coal. What's that all about?
Well, there's a coal mine in West Cumbria, or that they're trying to open in West Cumbria anyway. The government's excuse is to provide, I believe it's one of the ones they've been talking about, providing energy security as well as coal for steel making, both of which are nonsenses.
Okay, so we don't need the West Cumbria coal mine, and why is that?
Well, because A, we no longer need coal to make steel. B, because it's quite likely to end up just being sold on the open market anyway. And C, because we don't want to be relying on coal for energy. That's the thing we need to be moving away from.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And do you remember the three demands, especially for today, to do with the insurance industry?
Well, the first is stop insuring new fossil fuel projects. I believe the second one was to respect human rights.
And what does that mean in practice? How can the insurance companies influence that?
By taking that into account when deciding whether to insure projects, whether local people's livelihood and environment is taken care of.
Okay. So especially like with is it ECOP, East Africa crude. Okay.
Yeah.
So has that got a human rights aspect?
Very much so. Yeah. Like it's going through, I think, thousands of miles of protected territory. I can't remember which lake it is, but it's going through a freshwater lake that is, provides the drinking water and all the water supply for a very large number of people, as well as just farmland and living areas. Any one of which a spill in would be disastrous. It doesn't seem like that's really being considered.
Well done. I surprised you with a detailed explanation request for the second demand. And what's the third demand? Just transition.
Oh yes, the just transition. Yes.
Just transition.
Yeah.
Well done. So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your sacrifice. Okay. Well done.
Oh, right now.
Yeah. And you're back with the Extinction Rebellion live stream, live here from the City of London, still with Tokyo Marine behind us in the walkie-talkie. But we just had an interesting development that we just thought we'd come and talk to you about, because what we must not forget is that things in the UK are changing. The laws are changing. They are cracking down on protests. We are not living in the free and liberal society that some people may think that we are living in. And something really interesting just happened. You may remember our dirty scrubbers. So the ladies who come and help with the greenwashing And they're just a really fun act. They're street performers. And they've just been arrested. So we thought we'd speak to one of our protest liaison, Paul, here. Paul, what's just happened? Actually, let me give you some. There we go.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we have a theatrical group called the Dirty Scrubbers, and they do a performance which is about greenwashing. And so they've got this very clown-like washing machine. They've got a washing machine which washes green dye and cleans money and puts a green dye on it, which obviously is greenwashing, which is where companies lie about their activities and pretend that it's sustainable when it actually isn't. It's very dirty and polluting. So, they've got this theatrical performance, which was liaised with the city police and the city bronze commander. And as they moved along the street, they were jumped on by the Met police and the Met bronze commander, who then arrested all 8 people. 5 of them were in fancy dress as dirty cleaning ladies, and 3 guys, and they arrested them for conspiracy to cause criminal damage, when in fact they're cleaning where they go. So they're doing the exact opposite. The police knew about them already, and they've decided to arrest them. So I've expressed myself very clearly with Inspector Morrison, Ben Morrison, who authorised that move. There were about 30 officers involved. So when the general public are talking about protests taking police off the street, it's poor policing decisions like this that is causing police to come away from neighbourhood policing. Because that was really embarrassing as an ex-officer to see that happen. That is completely embarrassing. More policing.
Thanks, Paul. I mean, what do you think this means in terms of future protests as well? I mean, street performers, they don't usually get arrested. I mean, sometimes they do, depending on the situation. But, I mean, none of these guys would have come here expecting to be arrested today. I mean, this is very concerning. Do you think this is a miscommunication between teams? Or do you think this is sort of, on purpose kind of strategy of intimidation? Or what do you think this is about?
Well, I think you can't ignore the fact that what the government have been doing recently and cracking down on protests does filter down to the hierarchy of the Met and other police forces. And really, it's beholden on Mark Rowley to push back and be independent and actually police with the consent of the people. And what I think really annoys me is that when they see a lot of protesters on the street, they immediately try and say, oh, the protesters are doing this, the protesters are doing that, and put the blame on the protesters. But this is democracy in action. And the reason why there is a lot of protesters on the street is because our government is not representative of how the public are feeling. So the government should take note of the protesters.
Thank you so much, Paul. And thank you so much for explaining it to us, because we obviously missed it. And it's just, we can't believe it. So, our thoughts go out to our lovely dirty scrubbers.
It's just such a waste. And probably will end up with the Met Police being sued yet again for wrongful arrest.
Yeah. Well, let's wait and see, and we'll definitely keep everyone posted. But thanks, Paul. We'll let you carry on with your important work. So this is just to highlight as well that being part of Extinction Rebellion or on any kind of protest. I think. Hello. Yeah, we won another round. Hi, Richard. What just happened? Paul just talked us through it. We're slightly shocked. What's your take on this?
My take is that there is an inspector in the Met who doesn't know what he's doing. Also, I think the Silver, who is getting his knickers in a twist about this, is probably...
Explain to people watching who don't understand what Silver is.
Silver is the officer who's in charge of the policing operation. He or she will be in the control room and they'll be looking at cameras, this, that, and the other. They're getting themselves a little bit exercised about stuff that we've been doing perfectly happily for over 5 years, which is using smoke, using performance, using theatre as a way of actually getting our message across in a way that engages the public. Now, to disproportionately interfere with that performance, with that performative protest, in my view, is completely disproportionate. It's unlawful. And, you know, we've had 8 of our rebels detained, taken to custody for apparently conspiracy to commit criminal damage, which, you know, a few inquiries on the ground by the officers there would have soon realised that there was never going to be any criminal damage. The dye is for in the greenwash machine. It's part of the performance. The smoke is to, you know, alert people to the fact that there's a performance going on. Come and have a look. So, not impressed.
No, and I mean, this is just really worrying. Do you think this is a sign of the times, of this sort of extreme, over-the-top crackdown on protests?
Well, I think there is a political element to this, isn't there? Because, I mean, I think only today we've had the Home Office Select Committee making statements about how how police time is being used to actually police protests rather than on their other duties. But I mean, my take on that is, look, that is a policing decision. You know, you don't have to police peaceful protests with hundreds of officers. By its very nature, a peaceful protest, and they know we are non-violent. They know that. They've been working with us for 5 years and more. So there should be no excuse to take officers away from other duties to come and try and manufacture offences for which they can take action. I mean, it's just absurd.
Yeah. And it's a really interesting argument that they're trying to create this rift as well, in that, you know, as we saw in the Netherlands, where the police eventually said to the government, this is your problem. We are having to deal with these protests, whereas the reason the protests are happening is because the government is doing a shit job. You know, I wish the police would say something like that to the government here. Do you think we're ever going to see that kind of conversation happen?
Well, if I was still in the job, it would be happening, but I'm not in the job anymore. So I doubt it. I don't think there's enough backbone, to be honest. I think, you know, people should be saying, look, you know, that, because the thing that annoys me is that you always get a politician will come and say, oh, the right to protest is a fundamental part of our democracy. And then you get the but blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, either it is or it isn't, you know, and it's okay. It might be inconvenient. It might be shaming them and pointing out the things that they're doing wrong and pointing out the things that they should be doing, but they're not. Well, that's not a reason to clamp down on peaceful protest.
Yeah.
That's just shoddy.
Yeah. I mean, our poor dirty scrubbers, I can't believe it. They definitely did not set off from home today expecting to be arrested, I don't think. But it just goes to show what weird times we're living in.
Well, very weird times. I mean, you know, hopefully maybe it was just a poor decision-making today, but I don't know. They're using the powers that have been recently enacted in the Public Order Act of 2023 and the Police Crime Sentencing and Court Act of 2022, which are draconian. Yeah. And, you know, effectively, if they were to use those powers to the full, none of us would be able to protest at all. It would be like Moscow.
Yeah. No, it's scary stuff. And they're obviously doing it to intimidate. We shall not be intimidated. We shall only be more determined. Richard, I'll let you get on to do your job of protest liaison. But thank you so much for this. And
I'm feeling a bit ranty. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no, rightly so. Well, I'm glad you were here to explain it all to us. What's happening? It's not good, but we'll let you get on your way. So, yeah, thank you. So, it's just to say that people watching this thinking, do I get involved or not? There are so many jobs to get involved with in Extinction Rebellion. We're all volunteers, obviously, but you don't have to, well, unless you're a dirty scrubber. Now, if you're a dirty scrubber, you do risk arrest, apparently. That's new. But yeah, we need people like Richard and like Paul, who you were just listening to help us with liaising protests to make sure that our rebels are safe and that we speak to the police so that we fully understand what's going on. This, of course, we will not be letting go. We have an amazing legal team who will be looking into this for sure. Just our thoughts go out to our wonderful, wonderful dirty scrubbers who should never have been arrested. I mean, their act is brilliant. They have a washing machine. You know, it's all about greenwash. They're hilarious. They're brilliant. We didn't realise that you could get arrested for being really witty and funny, but there we are. While we take some time to catch up with the rest of the march, I think maybe we can go to an interview from some of the occupiers. So as we said, we've been occupying lobbies of various insurance companies since around 8 o'clock this morning. So we had an early start where some of our amazing rebels have been inside the lobbies of various insurance companies. And we've been able to speak to them and find out what they were up to, why they were doing it, and what made them come to the point of going to occupy a lobby in an insurance company. So let's find out. Let's go to some of these interviews and hear from the people inside.
Madam, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where we are and why we're here today?
I'm Susie. I'm a biologist and a Londoner, and I'm here in an insurance company's foyer as part of a week of action trying to alert people working in the insurance business, as well as other Londoners and people around the world, that insurance is a business that enables fossil fuel operations. And fossil fuel operations are putting so many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere that life on Earth is becoming uninsurable. And it's perverse and paradoxical that the masters of risk are actually enabling the most risky. It's not even an experiment anymore. It's the destruction of the ecosystems that keep us all alive.
We're not just at any insurance company. We're in the City of London. We're in, is it Talbot? It's quite a big reinsurer. AIG. I think they own Talbot. Okay. Let's keep on message. And we were speaking before, and you had some concerns about the City of London and how maybe people don't realise how much power it has to affect these sorts of things.
Yes, sometimes people say, oh, well, let's blame China. Let's not think that we're at all responsible for the global heating that's obviously happening. And it's true that Britain, as a proportion of current emissions, is just a small part of a huge engine that's driving global heating. But here in the city, in the financial centre, we still enable, through funding, but largely insurance, we enable fossil fuel operations around the world to go ahead. They can't go ahead without insurance cover. And I think this company alone covers 30% of US coal extraction and a huge liquid natural gas terminal in Texas. And they're considering supporting the East African oil pipeline. Sorry.
East African
yes,
oil pipeline.
Shall I start again?
No, keep going.
And they're considering covering the East African crude oil pipeline, ECOP, which is going to devastate lives of people across East Africa, as well as around the world, directly through operations and then sequentially through global heating. Sorry, I'm getting quite whiny, but
it's going out live. So we're in a lovely building, and it would be very easy to say, well, this is very wealthy people, and it's a wealthy people benefit, but we've all got, I don't know, pensions, and we rely on insurance, so we all sort of benefit from it. And is there anything we can do about it?
Well, pensions is a very good, very interesting subject. It's quite difficult to find out who your pension is invested with. But I recently did that, and I'm in the process of, it's quite lengthy, but it's worth doing, finding out who, if you do have pension savings, who they're invested with. Because the short-term profits that maybe pension fund managers look to, they're going to be meaningless in just a few short years' time if we allow climate breakdown to continue. So it is, it's difficult but worth doing, finding out who you're with and doing something about it. Sorry, I'm not great at this.
Have you done anything like this before? Have you much experience in XR? How do you think it's all going?
Well, when I first got involved, maybe 5 years ago, there was a spirit of hope that actually by getting together and collectively expressing our demands for some significant climate action, we could move forward. But I think it's making some of us increasingly angry. I think despair is as bad as climate denial, and we've got to stay hopeful. But it's becoming more and more clear that politicians and corporations still don't quite get it. They still might think that there's personal profit to be had, without realising that we truly are in this together. The poor and the disadvantaged are feeling the brunt of climate change already. Fuel poverty is an evil thing, but people in poorer countries of the world are already being blighted by increasing extreme weather events. I think I'm going to have to stop because I can't do this.
That's excellent. So thank you very much for what you're doing and sitting on the floor and everything, and we'll go somewhere else.
Welcome back to the Extinction Rebellion live stream, live here from the City of London. We are doing friendly visits to insurance companies to say, hello insurance companies, can you please stop insuring fossil fuels? Why do we want them to do that? Because if you've just tuned in, let me just do a quick summary for you. No insurance, no drilling. No insurance, no digging. No insurance, no pipeline. No insurance, no West Cumbria coal mine. So, in short, insure your home, insure your car if you have one, insure your cat, obviously, but don't insure pipelines, don't insure coal mines. That's just silly. And it's not just about insurance as well. I'm learning as I go. It's also that insurance companies also invest, because obviously they make lots and lots of profit. There's Annie. We're going to go and interview her in a sec. There's people make lots and lots of profit, and then they insure it. They invest it into fossil fuel things. So anyway, madness. So we are here at the next visit. We are visiting insurance companies. Want to be on the live stream? Yes. Hello, random person from the general public. Hi. Hello. Did you just have a nice visit in a building earlier?
It was. I was in the walkie-talkie building.
So we have an inside scoop here. How was it? Well, first of all, why did you decide to take part in this action? Oh, hang on. I need to make sure we can hear you over the... There we go.
Well, I work for a charity in international development, and I learned about ECOP through hearing some of my colleagues from the Global South talking about the impact it's having on indigenous populations, but also like the livelihoods that have been damaged as a result. And I just don't think that's very fair at all. And I had some people, friends of mine, involved in Extinction Rebellion, and I thought, well, it's about time I did something about it. And this is my first action, and I really, really am pleased that I did it. I'm pleased that I did it, and I'm pleased that I've joined Extinction Rebellion, and it's been an amazing 18 months. Yeah, it was brilliant. Getting in there, like unloading, getting the posters out, and just stating the purpose clearly. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah. Brilliant.
How was the reaction of the people inside when they realised you were there to occupy or to visit, as we're saying? Were they nice to you? Were they friendly?
Majority of people, absolutely. Sort of like, some people you get the smirks. Other people, like, you get to hear firsthand the judgments, like get a life, get a job. So there's a lot of judgment going on. It's very flippant, and it's not really intended to stay and hear your answer to that. It's just flippant. And of course, like, people have had bad days as well. So woke up with the wrong side of the bed and whatnot. But no, it was really, it was nice when the police arrived. They, very friendly and warm, just wanting to understand what was going on, really.
Yeah. And I think this is really interesting because you're saying this is the first action you've ever done. There'll be lots of people thinking, the climate crisis, it is getting really, really serious. Maybe I do want to take some kind of action, but it feels intimidating or I'm not sure what to do. What would you say to people like that?
yeah, I mean, that was me at the start. And to be honest, I got onto the mailing list, and that was my gateway into like just learning, just even on the fringe of it, what was going on. And a lot of the meetings and like sort of local group meetings, like also online and accessible that way. So sometimes you can just do it a bit from afar and like introduce yourself at your own pace. But I think like, yeah, you do need to go at your own pace, and really like it teaches you a lot. I think Extinction Rebellion for me has like helped me to find my own voice within. You know, what are my own limitations, but you know, what do I feel comfortable with, and challenging myself. It's important to do it, but like, yeah, I didn't feel uncomfortable at all today, but that was because I was with people who I've never met before, but like they were lovely, really friendly. I felt well briefed. I knew what to expect. I was well prepared, and that's another thing that Extinction Rebellion gives to you. The preparation is just incredible.
Yeah. Well, we're so grateful to you. You look beautiful in there, and it was such a delight to walk up to the window and see you all standing there waving. We'll go and have a quick look at the rebels inside over here. Which insurance company are we at now? Do you know where we are? We'll find out. But Annie, thank you so much for everything you do. And yeah, is there anything else you want to say still?
Just like it's an amazing movement. We've got to keep going, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Great. So that's the lovely Annie, who in fact has a job. So as do most of us, I mean, pretty much all of us, because otherwise how would we live? So there goes that. Let's just bust that myth straight away. And she also does amazing work in the fundraising team as well. Like we all have our places within the movement where we have our special skills or expertise that we use to help the movement. But let's go and have a quick look over at the window now. Let me just put down my sign. Oh, yeah, my massive sign. Ooh, here we go. Oh, look at them. Yay. Hi, everyone. Should we? Huh? Oh, sorry, Sandy. I always shout in the mic. Do we want to film them? Yeah. Let's see. Can you see them in the window? So here are the amazing rebels inside the lobby over here. Let's try and find out where, in fact, we are, which insurance company we are outside of, because we were never told the route in advance, because they're out here with thread needles. So I will know where we are when I look at my super high-tech shit. So we are at Talbot Insurance. And we've got lots of rebels inside visiting Talbot Insurance to say, stop insuring fossil fuels. Oh, there's more of them over there as well. See if we can, have they been glued on? So I think they've been glued on. Oh no, insure our future, they say. Here they are. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, so they're inside. You can see there's lots of police presence inside. Sorry. We'll go to a clip now. So, we've got some more interviews of people who were inside the lobbies a few hours ago. As you can see, the occupations are still happening. They're still ongoing. People are inside the lobbies of major global insurance companies, and it's amazing what they're doing, raising the profile of the role that the insurance companies play in the climate and ecological emergency. Let's find out from a few more rebels inside, see what they've been up to and how they are experiencing these occupations, aka friendly visits.
Hello, sir. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us why we're here today?
Yeah, so I'm Philip Hughes. I'm from West Wales. I'm here to protest and to encourage Talbot AIG to stop insuring new fossil fuel projects. So that's oil, gas and coal, which they are involved in, and we're asking them not to take on any new policies with those companies.
Great. And we're standing in the they're quite a nice lobby they're building. So it's quite possible AIG people will watch the live stream and they'll get to see this, especially the security people watch. So what message have you got for the people AIG at Talbot about them in particular, about the good parts of not insuring fossil fuels?
Yeah, so there's plenty of business around for insurance companies. You don't need to be insuring the fossil fuel industry. And really, from a business point of view, it's crazy that you're insuring something that's going to cost more in payouts due to storms, floods, and other climate-related chaos. And really, that just seems crazy to me. Why would you be paying out? I know that what will happen is that they'll just put up the premiums to the customers. But that's wrong as well, I think.
Yeah. And remember without insurance, fossil fuel companies couldn't do anything, could they? So they couldn't have new developments.
Yeah, like any other business, Talbot AIG need to insure the oil companies, otherwise they can't carry on their business. They need to have the policy in place.
Yeah. And what's your experience been today? You're standing in the window. Have you got another coal mine one? What does your banner say? Insure our futures, not fossil fuels.
So, I'd rather be with my daughter today. I don't really want to be here, but it's the only way that we can ensure that there is a livable future. And it's not a nice place to be. I'd much rather be doing something much nicer.
I know we were speaking before, and I know you've run a very important business, but we're not going to mention it. So it's nice to know XI is a good mixture of people. So thank you for what you're doing today, and good luck with the rest of the protest. Okay, that's the end then.
Want to destroy the planet for everybody. We know that people out here are sensible, clever people who know that continuing to expand fossil fuels at this time in history is completely inappropriate. It's going to destroy the insurance industry for a start, and it's going to destroy our planet. So we need to stop that. So we're asking you to be heroes. We've got some beautiful rebels who are inside the building. Let's give a shout to the rebels inside the building. Brave, peaceful rebels who have given up a bit of their time to come down here and try and create a little bit of noise, a little bit of opportunity to get this into the conversation. It makes no sense to insure new fossil fuel projects at this time. It makes no sense. It's going to destroy the foundation for life on Earth, destroy the insurance industry, and it's going to take a whole lot of beautiful beings, people, and ecosystems with it. So please, Talbot, you know what to do. These rebels inside, I believe they might be coming out soon, I'm not too sure. But I just want to say, first of all, once again, thank you to everyone who's been here, all the good people. Remember, we are part of a coalition. Just take a moment to think. We are just one group of over 130 around the world. It's not just us. It's not just us banging our drums and shouting, holding placards, handing out leaflets. This is happening all around the world. 140 groups, that should feel really great. And just imagine those people in there, Talbot insurance people, just imagine what it'd be like in a few years' time when you're down with your families and they say, you know, Mum, Dad, you know, you used to work for that company, what did they do again? And you say, you can say to them, we decided to pull the plug on the ECOP. We decided to pull the plug on Trans Mountain Pipeline. We decided to pull the plug on the West Cumberland coal mine. And you would actually say these things would be landmark moments in this struggle for justice, for the struggle for a sensible living future. It would be landmark moments that you could say, I was a part of that. I spoke to my boss and said, look, this doesn't make sense. We've got to stop this. I spoke to my boss's boss in the elevator one day at the water cooler or whatever happens and said, look, man, it doesn't make no sense to insure ECOP. These projects are going to destroy our planet. One way or the other, we've got to do the sensible thing here. There's no point in dashing for short-term profit when in fact we could be ensuring our future. So, just have a quick shout out. They're coming out. I see a little bit of movement, is that right? Here they come, they're coming out. Apparently, some people might have been using some glue in there, maybe. They're not? Okay, no, they're all coming out. So here we go, they're about to open the windows. Here, let's welcome them, yeah! Imagine this, Total Insurance, this is the sort of welcome you could be getting if you stopped insuring ECOP, Transmountain X, and the West Public Coal Mine. You could be legends in your lifetimes. So let's just say, to be clear, insure our futures, not polluters. 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 Talbot, you guys, come on. This is that moment. You can step up. You can carry on doing what you're doing, or you can change. You can be this moment. You can be the heroes. You have got incredible power. The insurance industry is a fossil fuels Achilles heel, and you have got this incredible potential to stop these projects in their tracks. So I think it's nearly time for us to move on. You can carry on doing your stuff. I'm sure we've made a little bit of noise and perhaps annoyed you slightly, but hopefully later on today you'll be thinking about it and thinking, actually, it makes no sense for us to be insuring these projects that are going to render the earth uninsurable, that are going to increase the risks of extreme weather to the point where it's just going to bankrupt all of these companies. It makes no sense. So, who are we? We are Extinction Rebellion. Extinction! Extinction! And we are part of a global week of action, Insure Our Future action all around the world. We are demanding insurance companies stop enabling fossil fuels, protect and uphold human rights, and to support a green transition. And we're going to be on our way, continuing our tour, but please, 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 step onto the right side of history. Give them one last wave, you good people up there, these Talbot Insurance employees. We've got no beef with you, you just need to do the right thing. Come on, you can do it. Talbot Insurance, step onto the right side of history. All right, are we heading off? Are we going to go? Are we going to keep going? How are we feeling, everybody? All right, let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Welcome back live to the live stream. Here we are. Sorry, I was just doing some admin because I'm also on the press team and I'm also coordinating the media messaging team. So yeah, sometimes you just need to do some work while you're live streaming, which is fine. So yeah, Talbot Insurance. So I can't believe that they have not rolled out ECOP. Like, get with the game, guys. Everybody's starting to roll them out. Don't want to be left behind. Start a trend. Join the trend. Yay, Superman is back. So we'll be off to the next insurance company. We've got 2 left of the ones that we occupied today. And so, yeah, I'm not sure which one we'll be going to now, but the route is secret. So that's nice. So keep the police busy that way as well. They have no idea where we're going, but they'll might have an idea. Woo! And then one just gets in the way as a live streamer. Oh, careful, Charlie. Lots of risk involved in this gig. Yeah, so for those of you who just joined us, just to give you a bit of a recap, we are in the middle of XR's Insurance Week of Action. And we are doing that in solidarity with a global campaign group called Insure Our Future, who are organising a global week of action and all over the world. And as Etienne was just saying, we're one out of 140-something groups taking action this week against the insurance industry. And the reason why we're targeting the insurance industry is because they have a unique power to stop fossil fuel projects from like any project, can only go ahead if they are insured. If they're not insured, they can't go ahead with the project. So no insurance is no drilling. No insurance means no digging. No insurance means no pipeline, no coal mine, the whole shebang. So there is a lot of power in the insurance industry, and they need to use that power for good. What they can do is immediately stop insuring all new fossil fuel projects. So not say, yeah, but just one more fossil fuel project with these guys. They've said that they'll transition away from fossil fuel. So, you know, we can just give them one more project. No more fossil fuel projects. It's just not good enough. We can't have any more. So that, first of all. Second of all, insurance companies have a lot of money because they make money out of insurance, premium paid things that people pay you, like money, basically. And they invest it in insurance company, in the fossil fuel companies. So it's madness, because what we also know is that insurance companies are going to really suffer from the climate and ecological emergency, because they are going to have to pay out so much money to people claiming because of things that have happened to them because of climate-related events. So we've now got some people who were inside Talbot just now. Hi guys, how are you doing? I was wondering, would you just talk to us about how it was inside? I'm going to flip this off so I can speak to you properly. We can walk and talk if you like. How was it in there?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think there were a few happiest about being in there. There was talk of like removing our bags and things. But I think we were very clear about, you know, how long we were going to be there, what we were planning to do, and yeah, we managed it quite well to try and, you know, dress smartly, look like we belonged in the city and stuff.
Yeah, well done, because I'm curious, how did you manage to get inside? Did they, I assume you didn't have your patches on you and stuff like that?
No. So we came in disguised, kind of fake lanyards, and kind of just looked like we knew what we were doing. A few people were stopped, but that kind of gave an opportunity for more of us to slip in while they were distracted. We had a few cover stories about going to meet the artist in residence there. Thanks.
Brilliant. So did you come prepared with a story and a background, sort of thinking about who you were? I'll just pop over to this side and let you have it. So what was it like once you were in there?
Well, it was calm. We had a kind of teaching. I'm a scientist, and it was interesting talking to people about why I'm so concerned. Basically, I'm really worried about the extinction of the coral reefs. That's one of the things that I've been interested in. And as the global temperature, we will lose them. And what's enabling all of that is the insurers. They basically facilitate all the exploration. And insurers don't know their power. They could change, be profitable, but just stop fossil fuel. And that's what we want.
Did you get kind of a positive response to this? Did they want to engage with you?
Sadly, they basically started bringing people in through a back entrance, a side entrance. And so it was only towards the end that we were able to show banners back again after lunch. But this time, I think it was more about press inside the company and shaming them.
Yeah.
Rather than this time an opportunity to talk with people, which we hope we will get later in the week.
About Talbot, I hear that they are still planning on maybe insuring ECOP or anything like that?
Yeah, they haven't ruled out insuring ECOP or the West Cumbria coal mine, which for the UK would mean breaking our own climate targets, as the government's been told by its own climate change committee. So yeah, it's one of the, sadly, many that haven't ruled out either of those projects.
And so why do you think, because we've just been to a couple So we just went to Tokyo Marine before we came to see you, and they've rolled out ECOP. Do you think someone like Talbot will follow suit, or?
That's what we hope, and I think the more pressure we can put on them, the better. What we want them to do is the right thing. They can still be profitable. We want them to do the right thing.
Well, thank you both so much for taking this action. You looked amazing in there. I mean, you know, we keep saying to the insurance companies that they have an opportunity to be climate heroes. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you guys already are climate heroes. So thank you so much.
It's important to both of us as scientists to be that voice that they are ignoring. You know, scientists have been saying since COP26 at least that there needs to be no new fossil fuel extraction. So yeah, at least for me, it feels like we're taking our voice to them directly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Sorry, did you want to add something to that? Thank you so much. That was brilliant, and thank you for for talking to the XR live stream. See you later. Bye. So you can see that it's people from all sorts of different walks of life who decide to take action. You know, we just spoke to Annie, who works in international development. We've just spoken to two amazing scientists. You know, these are people with serious jobs. They are professionals. They're not what lots of people seem to think, just random hippies who don't have anything better to do. These are people who should not be out in the street or standing in lobbies at 8 o'clock in the morning trying to convince major corporations to stop insuring projects that are killing our planet. It's crazy that this isn't just common sense. What are the things that are stopping these people from insuring fossil fuel projects? And what's really interesting is that some representatives from XR did actually speak to Zurich on Friday, and they were just convinced that they are already doing the right thing. You know, giving us lots of stories about, but we're doing, here they're building some kind of pipeline here. This is brilliant. Great. Pipeline construction. So, you know, they're also kind of deluding themselves, really, and saying, yeah, but we've said that we're transitioning away and blah, blah, blah. As long as you're still insuring new fossil fuel projects, you are not transitioning away. You're just greenwashing. You're just finding loopholes and all sorts of excuses. It has to be now, otherwise it will be too late. So, yeah, we're now outside another building. Let's see. Let's find out where we are from my high-tech. We're on Bishopsgate. What does my sheet tell me where we are right now?
So what risks do you see with the East African crude oil pipeline?
Well, it's an oil pipeline which is going something like 1,500 kilometres, so it's really long. It's also going over and around important water sources. Lake Victoria and it's one of them. And any spillage would immediately put in danger all local water supplies. So it's got a massive risk to people living there, millions of people who live there, as well, of course, as it is it's providing fossil fuels for further carbon dioxide going up into the atmosphere, which is going to affect the whole planet. So it's got risks both globally as well as risks actually in the local area. And of course, it's for crude oil, so the whole pipeline has to be heated in order for the oil to move. And there's practically no oil pipeline in the world which doesn't leak somewhere. So the risks for ordinary people who rely upon the water sources of these big lakes that it's going past is going to be massive. And it's 1,500 kilometres long. So to be able to ensure that that doesn't cause local damage to indigenous people is practically impossible. So it's something which we shouldn't be insuring. We shouldn't be just ignoring the rights of people who live there, who are dependent upon the land and the water. And we should be stopping insuring it so that it doesn't go ahead. If companies can't get insurance for these kinds of projects, then they can't get loans and the project doesn't exist. So insurance companies that are thinking about insuring ECOP need to think carefully about the impact of doing it.
Hello, madam. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us why we're here today?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a mother of two, a 26-year-old young lady and a young man who's 18. And I'm extremely concerned for their futures and all their peers around the world, especially in the global south. And my children's family actually live in Indonesia, which is one of the countries that's going to be threatened by massive sea level rise from climate collapse if we don't do something really urgently.
Okay, and we're at Talbot, which is an insurance company in the City of London. Why have we chosen that site to come to?
Yeah, so Talbot is a subsidiary of AIG, which is one of the top 10 biggest insurance companies, and they have not rolled out insuring new oil and gas, and that's why we're here. So particularly about the ECOP pipeline, which is the East Africa pipeline, which is going to be the longest heated pipeline in the world, and is not actually benefiting any communities over there. It's actually going to cause massive contamination, same as the West Cumbria coal mine, which they haven't rolled out.
And you've got
yeah.
show us the thing you're holding in the window. You've got the Don't Insure West Cumbria coal.
Exactly.
And I think you've got some. You've been to see a talk on that, and you've got some information about the coal mine.
Yeah, that's right. I went to a talk with Maggie Mason from Cumbria Coal Mine. They're doing action. So she used to work for Cumbria Council, part of the mineral and waste management team, and that's her expertise. And now she's fighting the West Cumbria Coal Mine, which has so many problems. It's probably it's actually uninsurable. The coal produced there is not the level needed to produce steel, which is the big argument. It has too much sulphur in it, and they'd have to wash the sulphur, and even then it would have too much sulphur. So they're probably going to have to sell it to countries where they have poorer regulations on pollution, which sounds not exactly what they promised. They have to also tunnel under some ancient woodland, which they've promised, and build various buildings. They haven't done the work that's necessary. The land is contaminated from a previous mine, which was shut down because of the contamination, literally phosphate in the air, rotting people's clothes and making people ill. You can check all this out. It's in Whitehaven. And yeah, if you're really interested, Maggie Mason is the person to talk to. Yeah.
One of the things was like security for Britain's steel mines still works, but I think that's closed down, hasn't it? So that there won't be any.
Well, there is a plan for green steel, and if you want green steel, you need good quality coal as well. You still need it, but yeah, in this case, that wouldn't fulfil those things
because it's poor. It's too poor quality.
Exactly.
And would you like to give us like a bit of a news report? Because we've been here about an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened this morning, how it's all going.
So we walked in around just before 9, and most of us managed to just walk into the lobby area. The security did cotton on pretty quickly, but we managed to get, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in.
I heard the guard saying we have to be careful today because there's some protesters might be coming in.
I didn't hear that bit, so I just walked in and one of my friends was stopped, but I'm not going to say how we managed to sort that out because that's secret. Yeah.
But it went quite smoothly, and the security guard, he challenged us a bit, but it was fine. The police, by coincidence, were just parked outside, so they were here quite quickly, weren't they?
Yes, yeah, but we're non-violent. We're not going to cause any trouble, except for boycotting this Talbot AIG for the day. I think that's all I can say right now.
Well done. I hope your arms are feeling strong today. So, okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome back to the Extinction Rebellion live stream. We are here right in the middle of the City of London, protesting against the insurance of fossil fuel projects. Probably need to get out of the way a little bit. So we're standing right outside Apollo, which is another insurance company, which is insuring fossil fuel companies. We were outside Hiscox just now, and then now we're just casually blocking a road because, we do that quite well. The idea is, more than anything, that we plant a seed with people working in the insurance industry that it doesn't have to be this way. They don't have to insure fossil fuel companies and projects and infrastructure. They could be insuring green energy projects, sustainable energy projects, projects that are good for the future of our planet, that we can be proud of to support. And it's not even just about insurance, it's also about investing in fossil fuel projects. So with their profits, the insurance industry is also investing in the fossil fuel industry as well. So it's kind of double whammy of bad stuff that they're doing. We're here to say to the insurance industry, please change the way that you're doing your business. Don't insure fossil fuel projects. You can make a real difference by stopping the insurance, because without insurance, the projects cannot go ahead. As you can see, we're right here, blocking the road, making a little bit of noise. It's a friendly visit just to say, hey, why don't we talk about this? In fact, we are extending an invitation to all workers in the insurance industry to come to a community assembly on March the 5th, where we can talk about how the insurance industry can help insure the future. And I believe Etienne's going to do some speaking now. So let's go and see how he's doing. We can switch over to Etienne.
Protect and respect human rights in the projects that you are insuring, and support more insurance for the renewable industry. And Apollo Insurance have not, as this moment, ruled out any of the ECOP. Trans-Mountain Pipeline or West Cumbria Coal Mine, but they have amazingly ruled out insuring the Adani Carmichael mega mine. So well done, Apollo! We're just going to stop here briefly. We know what's going on. The risks involved with destroying our planet are going to be uninsurable. We need to stop insuring climate chaos. We're asking you to step up and do your part. And we are moving on to our next insurance company very, very quickly. But I just want to let everybody know, apparently, there is going to be food at the next stop. So if you're feeling a little bit peckish, hang on in there. We're going to get some food at our next place. But one more time, Extinction! Extinction! And let's just say it one more time. Insure our futures, not polluters. Once more, insure our futures, not polluters. All right, let's do this. Let's crack on. We've got lots to do. We've got lots of insurance companies to visit. There's so many more who are still continuing to insure climate chaos. Let's crack on. Well done, us. Let's keep going. Woo!
Reason it didn't start. Right, go now.
We are here in the walkie-talkie building because it is home to two of the insurance companies in the world that have still not ruled out insuring the East African crude oil pipeline. The East African crude oil pipeline is a proposal that will result in over 30 million tons of carbon dioxide when the oil is burnt every year. That is some 30 times the carbon footprint of Uganda and Kenya through whose territory it runs. It is appalling, and yet two companies here, Tokyo Marine and one other, are refusing to rule out insuring it. And insurance has the opportunity to be the good guys in all this. They could be insuring and supporting the growth of green technology and transitioning towards fossil fuels, and instead what they're doing is they are insuring oil and gas projects that are driving the climate crisis.
All right, so here's a letter that we're delivering to all the insurance companies in the UK. It's written by hand because we had problems with printing. So it's to the management of Talbot AIG, where we are right now. We're writing to you from the heart to offer you and your business an opportunity to be the climate heroes that millions of us desperately need you to be in these times of terrifying and rapidly accelerating crisis. And then we go on to say what an amazing and quite unique superpower insurances have to actually change the course of history. So I hope they take us up on it. Oh, right.
And now you're going to deliver it to the receptionist? Okay, so good luck. What happened? Did they accept the letter?
So the receptionist didn't want anything to do with it, but I understand she's not just here for that one business, but sad that they have to be neighbours of people like that. The security manager has received it and said he will convey it to Talbot IG management. So
Okay, that sounds positive. So we're waiting we get a reply.
Welcome to the Extinction Rebellion live stream. You're back with us here, right in the heart of the city of London. On one hand, we have the Leadenhall building. On over here, we've got Lloyd's of London. You couldn't get more in the centre, in the heart of the city of London than where we are right now. And this is where it's all happened. Lots of different insurance companies around here. We've done a tour, a fossil fuel tour around all the different insurance companies that are insuring fossil fuel companies, projects and infrastructure. And we are telling them enough is enough. No more loopholes, no more greenwashing. We want you to stop insuring all new fossil fuel projects. And if you could, also just stop insuring the current project as well that are already going on. Because let's face it, we need to stop adding more carbon emissions to the atmosphere and adding more to the destruction of the environment that we as all living beings rely on. And this is where that change can happen. This is where the people can finally say enough is enough. We are not going to insure these projects anymore. And without insurance, these projects cannot go ahead. So this is where the change has to happen, right here in the city of London, where the insurance companies have the power to say no to insuring fossil fuel projects. So we've had an amazing walk this morning, today, this afternoon, from one insurance company to the other. We've been to Zurich, we've been to Tokyo Marine, we've been to Talbot, we've been to Hiscox and Apollo, and now here we are at Chubb and Veritas and all these insurance companies that you've never even heard of, unless you're obviously in that sector. But, you know, we know the BPs and the Shells and the Exxons and the Total, but we don't know the names of these insurance companies. While they hold so much power, they literally hold the fate of the planet in their hands, and they now have the power to be climate heroes. So it's been an amazing day. I think what's going to happen now is we are going to have a People's Assembly here now on how we as activists can further help the insurance industry to move away from insuring fossil fuels. But there will also be an actual proper industry-wide community assembly next week on the 5th of March, where insurance workers are invited to come and talk about how they might start moving away from fossil fuel insuring fossil fuel projects. So not just in terms of on a policy on paper, you know, we're all green and whatnot, but actually doing it. So that's going to be really exciting, and that's going to be a safe and open space for people from the insurance industry to come together and say, well, we'd love to do it, but these are the challenges we face. This is why we can't do it, because X, Y, Z. And that we'll try and find solutions together. They're not in this alone. We all need to do it together. We should be here to support each other, to be able to work through what the obstacles are, what are the barriers, why would you not stop insuring fossil fuel? So that's what will be happening next week. For now, over here, we are going to have a people's assembly for us activists to see what else we could be doing, how we can better reach out to the insurance industry, and how we can start a real dialogue there. In the hub, there'll be lots of activities there as well. There'll be trainings, there'll be talks, there'll be speakers, lots of art blocking and printing and block printing and all sorts of things happening as well. So do make sure that you check out the Rebellion broadcast for all this information as well. I think we're going to go to another pre-recorded interview from earlier today from some more of the activists who were in one of the lobbies of the insurance companies. And let's see how they got on. We'll talk to you again later.
Hello, sir. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where we are and why we're here today?
I'm Dr. Tristram Wyatt. I'm a Senior Research Fellow at the University of Oxford and also at University College London. We're here in the lobby of a big office block, 66 Threadneedle Street, which is the home to one of Britain's big insurers of fossil fuel, Talbot.
Great. And I think there was somewhere else you were meant to be today, or you'd rather be, but you're here instead.
Well, I'm a biologist. I spent my life working on animal behaviour, and my particular thing is animal smells, how they communicate using pheromones. And I've written an award-winning book all about animal behaviour and pheromones.
Yeah, give us a title then if you've got a book to plug.
Well, it's Animal Behaviour and Pheromones.
Okay. Is it very expensive being an academic book?
It's an academic textbook, so yes, it's expensive, but I've also written a very short introduction to animal behaviour, which is a small paperback and is also recommended.
And is that on Amazon if you want to get that?
It is.
Well, tell us your name again so people can look it up.
So it's Tristram Wyatt, like Wyatt Earp, and...
That's it. Back to Extinction now then.
Now the problem is that having studied the amazing behaviour, think of David Attenborough, the amazing behaviour of animals around the world in all sorts of different habitats, what I ought to be doing is writing a book about those, the third edition of my pheromones book. But as I started to update the book, I realised that many of the animals are going to be dead, extinct, in the lifetime of the students who'll be reading the book. So, for example, coral reefs are a big part of Chapter 4, and you'll know that as the oceans are increasing in temperature, the direct effect of global heating, those will be gone in the next 10, 20 years. So basically, a whole range of life will be disappearing, along with all the fish and the crustaceans and everything else that subsists on those coral reefs. Frogs. Frogs are also disappearing as their habitats disappear. And what this means is I went through the book, so many of the animals would be going extinct. And rather than simply writing their obituaries, I joined scientists through Extinction Rebellion to try to stop the global heating, and that's why I'm here protesting at an insurer's. Now, the thing about insurance is that it enables business. Businesses have to control their risks, and fossil fuel exploration and development is just the same. And the thing that enables the fossil fuel industry to survive is being able to insure these big projects. Now, what that means is they're very vulnerable if insurance stops. To the insurers, fossil fuel are less than 20% of their business. So the insurers don't need the fossil fuel. And in fact, they may be making money, a small amount of money from fossil fuel, but actually they're losing it in the increasing climatic disasters with the hurricanes, the forest fires, the droughts, and the things that are affecting their other arms of the business. So it would actually be much better if they stopped funding new fossil fuel and instead started pushing renewables, which would be better for all of us.
So that's the thing that's coming across today. That it would be better for the insurance companies themselves, wouldn't it? Can you put the banner down and then you can hold the microphone? My hand's getting tired. So what I'm interested in is, quite often you hear scientists say there's a great risk that animals will become extinct, but you seem quite precise about it. How are you able to know certain species are definitely going to go?
So far as the coral reefs are concerned,
We know that they're hugely at risk because we can see the direct effects of the El Nino and other heat waves in the oceans. And we know that in those years, that's when we get the greatest bleaching, and we can match the bleaching to the temperatures. And what we're seeing is that the projected rise in temperature means that it will simply go above their lethal threshold for temperature, and we know that they'll simply die, and those habitats will disappear. And they won't come back. That's the really scary thing. These are tipping points. Once the coral is dead, we can't replace it from somewhere else.
And you said about the frogs that are in danger as well. Can we be that certain that they're definitely going to go? Or?
With all of these things, there may be frogs in some habitats that survive, but this enormously diverse group of animals are very much at risk, particularly not just from climate change, but also habitat loss. And sometimes the two are combined. Because what happens with rising temperatures is that animals have to go to cooler parts up the mountain, and at a certain point they run out of mountain.
Okay, that's interesting. Oxford University, well, because you're here, we're going to say it's the best university in the world. And there must be lots of academics there who must have the same insight into what's going to happen with climate change and the impacts it's going to have. How many of your fellow colleagues feel so strongly and sort of understand the risks? And is there any prospect of them speaking up or acting up?
That is actually one of the challenges. There are only a relatively small proportion of scientists who've gone out on actions. Now, that's not true about smaller kinds of protests, joining marches, writing letters, writing reports. There are lots of ways that scientists have been involved in protest. But in terms of taking direct action, it's a much smaller proportion. And one of the things I'm writing at the moment is a call to scientists to go outside their comfort zone to try to get more action from government. The problem is that scientists give wonderful advice to governments, but the governments, the politicians, actually listen to the people who give them money. And that's the fossil fuel industry. The money comes either directly to political parties. The Conservative Party got £1.7 million from climate deniers and fossil fuel companies since the election in 2019. But it's also indirectly through the think tanks, or as George Monbiot calls them, the junk tanks, where that hidden dark money goes to places like Tufton Street, and those then write the laws that control protest, for example, and also keep pushing fossil fuel expansion. And that's who Rishi Sunak is listening to, not the scientists.
It's an honour. Well, everyone I speak to knows what they're talking about, but it's an honour to speak to someone who knows so much about it, and like from first hand, rather than just from what they've read in The Guardian. So is there anything else you'd like to say while you're here, or?
Just that we really would love more scientists to join us and to actually start taking whatever actions you feel comfortable with, but try to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Transition that actually protects life on Earth and keeps our civilization able to continue, because frankly at the moment we're headed in the wrong direction. The insurance companies around the world are enabling this problem, and we could do much better. So Let's just see. Can I get a little signal? Can anyone see Christian Climate Action? Can we see them in there? Oh, well, let's do a little bit more chat here. Who's going to say, insure our futures, not polluters. Insure our futures. Insure our futures. Ensure our futures. Look, we are Extinction Rebellion. We are a non-violent network. We are ordinary people who have learned about the true reality of the climate and ecological emergency. We're giving up our time and our energy. We're not doing this for fun. We're doing this out of a sense of duty, out of a sense of calling, because we know the dangers that we face will not get faced if we do not increase the accountability, do not increase scrutiny on those who hold power. And if we do not do that, we are headed in the wrong direction. We're headed to disaster, and it is up to us. It's up to ordinary people. We're calling ordinary people to come and help. The insurance industry has the power to pull the plug on the fossil fuel expansion. The insurance campaign here that we are doing this week is winnable. They're coming out. I'm hearing they're coming out. Let's give them a welcome. Are they coming out? Yeah, Christian Climate Action! Thank you, Christian Climate Action. Brave rebels. Been there since 8 o'clock in the morning. Alright everybody, we're going to have one more stop towards lunch break, so we're about to head off. We'll just get a little bit more music and then we're going to go for it. Let's go. Nothing will keep us together.
Okay, yeah. Now, so you are here live just outside Probitas, where Christian Climate Action have just come out. They've been occupying their lobby since early this morning, and they have been talking and reaching out to the insurance workers in that building, saying to them, you know, what can we do? How can we make sure that you insure our future and not fossil fuels? How can we go about that? So that's amazing. They've just come out to join us on this last little stroll of this tour, of a fossil fuel tour around the city of London. We've had lots of people, onlookers, looking at us, thinking, not entirely sure what it is we're doing here, because I don't think that many of the people working in this industry are actually aware of the impact that their employer is having on the planet and indeed on their own. You know, no one wants to see the destruction of the planet, not even people working in the insurance industry. So we are actively reaching out to them to see if we can create a new plan. How can we transition away, but genuinely transition away? Not in 10, 20, 30 years, but now. How do we stop insuring new fossil fuels now? So that is what we're here to tell the City of London today. This week is part of, we're in solidarity with Insure our future. Travellers, another insurance company right here in the heart of the city of London. We're doing this amazing tour around all these insurance companies. Now we know where they all are. But as always, we are strictly non-violent movement. We would never do anything to put anyone in harm's way, unlike, one might say, these insurance companies, because really, by insuring fossil fuel projects, they are putting us in harm's way, which they need to stop doing right now. So we've got some incredible rebels inside. They've been here since the early hours of the morning. They've been inside in the lobby of this building where Travellers Insurance are based. And they are trying to reach out to the people working for this company, saying, look, guys, there is a different way. We don't have to be doing it like this. We can stop insuring fossil fuels. Let's insure other things instead, things we can be proud of, things that are going to ensure a future for all of us, for all life on Earth. So we're now gathering here to support them, to show them they're not alone. We're all here, and we're so very grateful to them for standing in that lobby for all these hours. And let's hope they've had some really constructive conversations with some of the people working in this building. So later on, in about half an hour or so, there'll be a People's Assembly not far from here, I think somewhere near here, I think in Leadenhall, where we'll be talking about how can activists help the insurance industry ensure our future. And insurance industry workers themselves are, of course, welcome to come and attend, but we realise they are hard at work. It's only a Tuesday, but there is going to be a community assembly, especially for them, on the 5th of March, where they can come and take part in a deliberative democratic process to start talking about how we can support them and how they can start to ensure our future rather than the fossil fuel industry. And now we're going over to Etienne.
Hello, Travellers Insurance. Hello, everybody. Hello, Travellers Insurance. Hello, Travellers. We have been doing a little bit of research about you. You have still not ruled out insuring the ECOP pipeline. You have still not ruled out insuring the Trans Mountain X pipeline. And you have still not ruled out insuring the West Cumbria coal mine. But you have ruled out insuring the Adani Carmichael megamine. Yeah! Now just imagine how many thousands and millions of people will be like, yes, Travellers, you legends. You absolute legends. Let me get you a round of drinks if you had stopped insuring those projects. That would be super cool, wouldn't it? That would be super awesome. What day are we on? Tuesday. Could be sorted by the end of the week. But we've got to say hello to the beautiful rebels inside. How long have they been in there for? Probably some time. They're coming out now as well. You know the drill. Let's give them a welcome. Welcome, good rebels! Thank you for being in there, peacefully standing up for justice, global, climate and ecological justice, trying to call attention to the Travellers Insurance Company, trying to get them to do the right thing and step onto the right side of the line of history. We're super, super happy for our rebels to have come out. No stress with the police. Seems like everything's all right. So, this is, I believe, I may apologise for raising expectations. I did say it was lunch at our next stop. It wasn't quite right. I don't know, sometimes these things happen. But lunch just around the corner. We're going to march to that way, where I'm pointing, to the left. Yes. And then we're done. And then we're done. Extinction! Extinction! Let's just say it one more time. Insure our futures, not polluters. Insure our futures. Insure our futures. Insure our futures. Come on, Travellers, do the right thing. Stop insuring those carbon bomb projects and stand on the right side of history. We are Extinction Rebellion. We're ordinary good people, peaceful people. Just asking, come on, please help us out. We can all go home and get back on with our lives, knowing that the future is going to be all right and is held in the hands of sensible, clever people like you who know the risks and have mitigated them with sensible policies. So first of all, we've got to just say one more time, insure our futures. And now we're off to go and get our lunch. Well done, everybody. Woo!
Wrap up. Well done, Etty.
Woo!
How was that?
Yeah, well, you know, it's quite exciting. A little bit, you know, as ever, slightly chaotic, but also wonderful. You know, so many people are here. There's a really good feeling. I personally myself feel really happy to be like, I think it just seems to me like a good, strong campaign. You know, insurance companies are the Achilles heel of the fossil fuel industry. You know, no insurance, no projects. And we are really here sticking it to them, you know, in a gentle and kind way. You know, we know what's going on. We could say, look, just carry on what you're doing. We can't let that happen. We've got to demand, we've got to be firm and assertive, but we can also give them the opportunity and the chance, the pathway to be heroes. And that to me feels really good. And a lot of people here, I feel, are feeling good.
Yeah. You've done a brilliant job. Thank you so much for being the MC. How are you feeling now? Are you ready for lunch?
Yeah, well, I'm always ready for lunch, apart from just after breakfast. But you know, I'm actually, you know, I'm buzzing. You know, there's a good energy, and you know, we have done a great job here. Extinction Rebellion, part of this massive coalition, have put on a good show. You know, I think we've made a lot of noise. We've walked through the streets of London. It's absolutely clear. We've got all our branding. You look at my back there.
Yeah, insure our future. Woo!
And you know, we're making it clear this is absolutely, completely sensible. Only fools. Look at that one over there. And over there.
Only fools insure fossil fuels. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Etty. I'll see you at the food truck in a second. See you. Woo! So we're going to wrap up here from the Extinction Rebellion live stream. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're sitting there at home and you're thinking, actually, I'd really like to join in, we're doing it all again tomorrow. So go onto the Rebellion broadcast, find out what it is that we're up to tomorrow, and come and join in. It's fun. Do wrap up though, because it's mighty cold. We are about to do a people's assembly on how climate activists and how the movement can support the insurance industry to stop insuring fossil fuels. So that's happening at Leadenhall at 2 o'clock, although it's probably going to be slightly delayed because everybody really wants to have lunch first. If you're around, come and check that out and take part. We have been inviting insurance workers to a community assembly, especially for them, an insurance assembly on the 5th of March, which we will keep you posted on as well. And those, the outcomes of that assembly will be shared far and wide to see how the insurance workers themselves see this rapid and just transition that is needed away from fossil fuels. Well, I think from our team, from me, Marine, from Alex, Willow, Tim, and everybody else, Nico, who's been here as well, who's been live streaming. Thank you all so much for watching the Extinction Rebellion live stream. We're going to go out with one final clip, which is from one of our allies, Fossil Free London. They did an action earlier today, and we have a nice video of that as well. Thanks to lovely live stream team member Andrew. Thanks for that. So we'll let you go out on that clip. But from all of us here in the City of London today, thank you so much, and we'll see you for the next live stream tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
International energy. Wait.
I'm with Fossil Free London. My name's Robin. We're outside this Intercontinental Hotel on Park Lane. We've been here many a time. We had a massive action called Oily Money Out here last October, and tons of rebels came to join us. We had a huge blockade, and we're here again because they're hosting yet another oily conference. So it's called International Energy Week. It was until recently called International Petroleum Week. They kept the same branding, they just swapped the word petroleum for energy, which is quite reflective of what their industry is doing generally. They just change the words of the conference titles, but they don't actually change their business models. So we're protesting because this system of the expansion of oil and gas has to stop, and conferences like this, in which fossil fuel companies speak to our ministers, need to be brought to an end. Our ministers need to stop being lobbied by these companies. They need to stop accepting donations from these companies and stop, schmoozing with them in fancy venues such as this. So we're going to be here this morning for a demonstration, and we're hoping to do many things during International Energy Week, so watch this space.